I'm really tired of having to come to Muslim conferences and have to explain to Muslims why Black Lives Matter is your issue. I'm tired of having to come here and explain that 1/3 of the American Muslim community is African American. I'm tired of having to explain to you why the killing of unarmed black people, men and women, is wrong, and there's no way to justify it. So what I want to say to you, sisters and brothers, here today is that we didn't need a hashtag that started 2 years ago to tell us as Muslims that Black Lives Matter, because Black life always mattered in Islam. I hope we could leave this conversation once and for all not explaining or having a conversation about why Black Lives Matter. The conversation should be, what are you doing for Black lives right now, both inside the Muslim community and outside the Muslim community? We live in a country that was founded on genocide of Native Americans and indigenous people. We live in a country that was founded on slavery of black people, some of whom were Muslim. People say to me, Sister Linda, you know, we're Muslim. We follow a religion of love and compassion. I know that. I know what my religion is. I also know that my religion is a religion of love and compassion, but it's also a religion of justice. I got a lot of Muslims telling me Islam is a religion of peace. Sisters and brothers, there can be no peace without justice. So if you want to bring peace to the lands that we live in, let's join hands together and fight for justice for all people, which is what our religion calls us to do. So you asking me why I'm angry. I'm angry because I love my community. I love my religion. I love my sisters and brothers. And this administration won an election on the vilification of our communities, of our Muslim organizations, of our masajid, of our faith, of our beautiful religion. How can you sit with people who have gained access to power on your backs and the backs of your children, on the backs of black people, on the backs of Mexicans and undocumented people, on the backs of people with disabilities? Why would you as a Muslim think that you can sit with someone who has dehumanized you? The reason why I veered off this conversation of Black Lives Matter is for the very reason why I don't stand on any media platform or on any stage or at any press conference condemning terrorism. Let me tell you why. I don't condemn terrorism as a Muslim. I condemn terrorism as a human being. And when somebody asks me as a Muslim to condemn terrorism, that very question that is asked of us is inherently bigoted, because someone actually believes that we lack the humanity to stand up against any and all violence, regardless of who that violence is being committed against. Sisters and brothers, as Muslims and in front of our children, I am tired of standing on stages telling Christians, oh, we believe in the same God that you believe in. We are Americans just like you. We love our children just like you. We have families just like you. I'm tired every single day of our community having to prove their humanity. We are human beings, sisters and brothers, and if someone doesn't want to accept us as human beings, you don't have to fight for that right. You walk on and find some new friends. This is why it hurts me that black people in the United States of America, some of whom are in our community, 1/3 of your community is African Americans, that they have to justify to you why you need to stand up and say that unarmed people shouldn't be killed at the hands of those who swore to protect and serve us. It doesn't require people to have to tell you as a Muslim, right from wrong because our religion is very clear on what is right and what is wrong. And when somebody in our community makes a mistake, you got two choices. And you ask yourself, what would our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would do? He would always choose to be on the side of the oppressed, of the downtrodden, of the poor. He will never choose the oppressor over the oppressed. So in order for us as a Muslim community to change our conditions, we need to change ourselves. So let me tell you what we as a Muslim community have been doing for 15 years. For 15 years, our community has been engaging in working towards acceptance instead of working towards and demanding the respect that our communities deserve. For how long, sisters and brothers, are we going to continue to ask people to love us and respect us and see us as one of them? Everybody in this room could agree that some of our heroes, people like Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali, you say they're your heroes. I saw all of you. You were all posting on your Facebook when Muhammad Ali passed away. Last year was the 50th anniversary of the assassination of our brother Malcolm X, Al-Hajj Malik Shabazz. Brother Malcolm X and brother Muhammad Ali, they never worked towards acceptance. Muhammad Ali lost everything. He lost his titles, his championships. He lost his fame to stand up for what he believed in, and his foundation for standing up for what he believed in was that he was a Muslim, and he knew that Islam would never ask him to go commit injustice against innocent people. People every day are posting quotes about Malcolm X. Let me tell you about Malcolm X. Malcolm X always spoke truth to power, and he didn't care about the consequences. We could say that Malcolm X, even today, as he has not been on this earth for 50 years, that Malcolm X is probably one of the most hated men in America. But guess what, sisters and brothers? He was also, and still is, one of those most respected men in US history. So my question to you is, do you want to be accepted or do you want to be respected? I don't know about you, but I want to be respected. So in this room, you could say, Sister Linda, I don't agree with anything that you're saying. I don't care if you agree. But what I will say to you is that you may not agree with me, but I expect you to respect me and respect the positions that I have, and that's how we have to operate as a Muslim community. We have also been operating under this assumption that there's something called Muslim issues. Sisters and brothers, you live in the United States of America. There is no such thing as a Muslim issue. Healthcare and healthcare reform, reproductive rights, immigration and immigrant rights, economic justice, climate justice, racial justice. These, my dear sisters and brothers, are your issues. They are American issues, and they impact all of our communities. Syria, Kashmir, Burma, Palestine, Iraq, those are all your issues. They are all of our issues. Just because you're Syrian doesn't mean you just care about Syria. Just because you're Palestinian, it doesn't mean you care about Palestine. If you are a true Muslim, you care about all of our Muslim sisters and brothers. You care about all oppressed people all over the world. Sisters and brothers, I am tired of oppression Olympics. This community needs you more. This community is more oppressed. No, sisters and brothers, that is not how we uplift all oppressed communities. We uplift them together. We join hands together. We say free Palestine and free Syria and free Kashmir in the same breath together. That's how we will uplift all the oppressed people around the world. My question to the Muslims is, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to do to defend and continue to defend the rights of black people in America, both in our community and outside our community? What are you willing to do to protect undocumented sisters and brothers? Are we ready to open our masajid as sanctuaries and places of safety for these people? Are you ready to stand up for women in this country and our reproductive rights? What are we as Muslims ready to do? We can't always worry about and ask what others are willing to do for us. We gotta start standing up in these United States of America and start letting everybody know what we are willing and ready to do for others. Because when you stand for others, you don't have to wait for those people or call on them to come stand with us. They will naturally reciprocate the solidarity that you have showed to those communities. Sisters and brothers, our nation needs you now more than ever to be its moral compass. We have everything. We have a religion and a faith that is rooted in compassion, love, and justice. And that is what we need right now to lead these United States of America. And I don't want you to be caught off guard by my anger. I am angry, sisters and brothers. And let me tell you about anger. Anger against injustice comes from love. If I didn't love people, if I didn't love my community, if I didn't love humanity, I wouldn't be angry at injustice. I would allow injustice to happen around me. So don't let people silence you and tell you you're too emotional, you're too angry. I want you to respond to people when they say you're too angry or why are you angry? I want you to say this: why are you not angry? There's enough injustice around us that we should always be outraged at the things that are allowed to happen on our watch, in Aleppo, in Palestine, in Flint, Michigan, in Detroit, in Brooklyn, and yes, in Standing Rock. So let me tell you about my plans. I am very honored as a daughter of your community to be one of 4 national co-chairs for the Women's March on Washington. And I am honored to represent my community with over 500,000 people. And our message is going to be very clear. We are one. We are united. Hands off our Muslim sisters and brothers. Hands off our undocumented sisters and brothers. Hands off women. Hands off people with disabilities. Hands off seniors. We, sisters and brothers, have the opportunity for generations to come to say that Muslims led the fight against fascism and xenophobia and Islamophobia and homophobia. Let us be those heroes in those history books for generations of people to learn about us and our convictions and our values. Sisters and brothers, one thing I learned from Standing Rock is that your responsibility is not just to now and to this generation. They believe that we have a responsibility for 7 generations to come. So I want you to think about every action that you take, every decision that we make as a community will impact 7 generations of Muslims to come. And what I want to see 7 generations from now is people in our communities who are more unapologetically Muslim 7 generations from now than we are proud to be Muslim today. And that is your responsibility, that is your story to write, and it is your decision.